So, I have a New Belgium throwback. It's Two Below Winter Ale. They haven't made this in like 4 years. And it was part of their winter variety pack that just came out that I grabbed. So it's 6.6% alcohol. Basically a winter warmer, which is kind of a vague term. A lot of winter warmers are spiced, some are not. This one, I guess, is dry hopped during fermentation. They actually tell you that. It uses Liberty, Nugget, and Sterling hops. I don't know which ones they dry hop with, or if it's a very heavy dry hop. It's not high in IBUs. It's like 32. And I think this is pretty fresh because it just came out and it says March 28th of next year is the best buy date. So maybe it was actually canned October 28th, which would make it like only 2 weeks old or so, which is insane for something from New Belgium. But I guess maybe this was made in North Carolina, so. I don't know, it only says Fort Collins, Colorado on there. I know they have I think they have a place in Asheville or somewhere in North Carolina. But let's just jump into this. It's not super dark. I think it uses a bunch of different malts. No like roasted malt, but there's like it looks like Fat Tire actually. There's caramel, Crystal 80, Munich, Victory malt, which is another sort of amberish malt, but not as dark as you might expect a winter warmer. It looks similar to the color that Sam Adams Winter Lager is this year, but that one is spiced, but this year it's just like really bad. I haven't really had a lot of these winter seasonals in a long time, but I thought, I don't know, it's fun to try things that I haven't had in forever. I don't know if I ever had this one actually. I do like the old New Belgium can designs. They're somewhat nostalgic for me. But that looks like just a pale ale. Maybe it's kind of just like a more old-fashioned American pale ale with a little bit more complex malt bill than just the Crystal. Yeah, it smells. Yeah, taking me back to some old-fashioned pale ales. There's just maybe a little bit more of a fruity, complex fruit cakey thing going on here. Maybe it smells a little bit like what American brewers would have called an English style pale ale or something, especially because they're using Sterling, Liberty, and Nugget. Nugget is like an old-fashioned American hop that's a little bit British like. Liberty, I don't remember much about it. Sterling is sort of an American noble hop type. So I mean, it smells a little bit like Sierra Nevada Pale. Smells, I don't know, a little bit like Fat Tire. I haven't had Fat Tire in so long, but I know that Fat Tire is not much of an amber ale. It's very pale. It's sticking around pretty well. There's definitely some hop stuff going on, but not much roast. But it smells very fresh. A pretty bright, strong flavor. I definitely get the hops in there. They're bringing some fruitcake, orange with orange rind in it, sort of fruitcake. Giving you some zesty fruitiness, but a little bit of bitterness. That's pretty nice. It's not very malty. You kind of would expect it to be a little bit more malty. I have been finding that I like some of these darker hoppy beers in the wintertime. But I might, oh no, there's some bitterness in there. Maybe it's because it's so fresh and it's dry hopped that it seems like it's higher than 32 almost. In a blind tasting, I probably would be like, is this an old-fashioned IPA almost? I mean, not bitter enough for that, but I'm thinking like IPA going back to 1997. Not that I ever was drinking any of those when I was 11 years old, but it would be an old-fashioned pale ale. It's pretty nice though. You don't really come across beers like this anymore, and if you do, hard to find them fresh. They're the kind of thing that sits on the shelf. It was a nice, not quite piney, but maybe it is piney a little bit. It's spicy. It's kind of like bitter fruity spices, like coriander almost flavor. I mean, none of that is in here. It's definitely a good toasty, biscuity quality to it, but it doesn't really get beyond that. It doesn't get beyond fruitcake. It doesn't get into any roasty, toasty, chocolatey, any of that. But it doesn't even quite make it towards coffee or toffee and caramel. Maybe toffee a little bit, but it's just so pale, and the hops are really front and center in a lot of ways right now in this beer. So it's barely even like, it's like Sierra Nevada, but not even. Like there's probably the amount of crystal in here is less than probably Sierra Nevada. And as you can see, it's paler than like Torpedo or Celebration from them, and they call those IPAs. I like this, actually. I probably won't buy it again, but if you get a 12-pack for 14 bucks and have these in there, it's enjoyable. That's it. Probably 3.75. Nothing wrong with this beer. Bye.